Hey guys, my name is Promise. I'm married to Matt. We've been married for a little over 2 years, and this is our story, TTC, trying to conceive. I personally wanted to share our story because pretty early on, almost immediately, when Matt and I realized that we were struggling trying to conceive, I personally felt led to share our story because in that moment, in those first few months, in those moments, I just felt really alone and almost like, am I the only one going through this? Even though I said it in my head, I knew that that was crazy. As I started doing more research and Googling, and also opening up, I realized just how many people actually struggle trying to conceive. So I just wanted to share our story in hopes that it would bring others encouragement, whether you're struggling trying to conceive or whether you know someone, because chances are you probably do know someone at least that's struggling, whether you realize it or not.
So, what are the next steps that Matt and I are coming up in our journey? August 5th, I'm going to be having a laparoscopic surgery to remove any endometriosis that they found, and also 2 cysts on each of my ovaries, an endometrioma on my left ovary, which is a blood-filled cyst, and a dermoid cyst on my right ovary. Now, she did mention that the dermoid cyst on my right ovary has pretty much overtaken my right ovary. Ovaries are really small, so that doesn't really surprise me, and cysts can get really big, so that doesn't surprise me. If you're aware of endometriosis, it can kind of bind things together, which I guess is what she's thinking it has done to my right ovary. So she is going to have to remove a portion of my right ovary. She did say she's going to try very hard not to have to remove the whole entire right ovary. So when she said that, I wasn't expecting it, and honestly, it really shook me up because I wasn't expecting to hear that. Call it what you may, but yeah, I felt a little less of a woman when she said that. I know that's silly, but that's just how I felt. I feel like as a woman, you feel like you, even if you don't want to, you feel like you have the right to reproduce a human, and that's just not the case all the time. But it doesn't make you less of a woman, absolutely not. So I'm still kind of working through that, but I am glad that I'm prepared for that before surgery and not waking up after surgery still under the effects of anesthesia and hearing that I lost an ovary and then being a basket case in the hospital. Matt and I are very hopeful for the surgery, and we're also realizing that, you know what, baby or no baby, this surgery is going to be great for my body, and my body is his temple, and I'm called to take care of that, and I'm guilty of absolutely not doing that all the time. So this is one step that I can do that is a step in taking care of my body. The success rate after the surgery, she said, is really high. So we have about a 3-month window. Why a 3-month window? That's a popular question. It was for me. It's a 3-month window because if you're unfamiliar with endometriosis, endometriosis grows back. There's not a cure for it. So the only time you don't have endometriosis, if you have it, from what I understand, is if you're pregnant or breastfeeding. So you have a 3-month window because obviously with each cycle it's going to grow back, and your chances are going to be more difficult again. I would love to hear your stories. That's pretty much where we're at right now. They found out that I had a thyroid disorder, so I feel like it's good that we know what's going on right now. At least we have problems that have possible solutions. And I think it's important to try to stay positive through this. God knows that I have not, and he knew what he was doing when I married Matt, because Matt is always optimistic, and it definitely, if you are not married, look and pray for the guy that is always an optimist, because I could not have gotten through without that optimism. Blatantly honest, it's been really hard for me to act on, not to necessarily say, but to actually trust God and his timing through this, because I've become so obsessed with just getting pregnant that I kind of lost sight along the way that, you know what, at the end of the day, God is enough. And it's hard to say that out loud, but it's even harder to really believe it. and to act on that. But that is the simple truth. I desperately want a baby, and he knows that, and so I can give it to him, and I hope that he has a plan for that. The honest truth is that he may not, and at the end of the day, I've got to be okay with that. I have got to learn that he is enough and he is what I need. I want a baby, I need him. So I feel like Matt and I have grown as friends and as partners in Christ. I feel like it has tested our faith in the areas, but I feel like it's really drawn us closer to God through this, and hopefully just brings encouragement to you all. So thanks for listening. I'm going to do an update after the surgery, so during recovery, and then also I'll try to do one after my follow-up appointment. Thanks so much.